Hello and welcome back to another Reaper video. I am doing something different again. I'm going to edit it, but this time I'm having my headset on to see if it makes a difference, because I noticed whenever I would move the camera it would make some noise, and I wanted to cut that out, so I was thinking maybe I can use my headset, that I would use to listen to music or other videos, see if maybe that helps cut out some of the noise. If there's more noise, then I'm just going to go ahead and go back to what I was using, or try and find a way to cut out as much noise as possible so you either hear me or the game. Today I'm playing Skyrim. I was originally going to play Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, which is kind of like Battlefield, but it's a lot less, I have to be in the zone, and it's more of, I'm just doing this for fun. Skyrim, and I would be playing that, but I had some technical issues with getting on the PSN network, so I said, I already thought about Skyrim, I'm just going to go ahead and do that, because worst case scenario, I just pause it, I just get back in the zone, what I was saying, I carry on. I rehearsed this a couple times, I'm not sure if I said it yet. I'm going to give a shout out to my mom, because if it wasn't for her, my last video that got a little bit on the topic of depression and suicidal would not have gotten spread. People would not have heard my message and know that I also suffer from depression, and I have attempted suicide. But a lot of people, they're just afraid to come out and say that they have depression, because nowadays a lot of people get treated like it's a disease, and they get separated from a lot of other people, like their friends. They don't want to talk to them no more. But I mean, most of my life I felt like I was isolated anyways, but I know now that I'm not, because I have my friends and my family that will always be there for me. But today I wanted to talk about how you think you see something but you really don't. You're just looking at an image that you want to see. And what I mean by that is, let's say you see a homeless person smoking a cigarette or drinking a beer. You immediately assume that he's not that good of a person because he's drinking a beer or smoking a cigarette, but you don't think about why he's doing it. Why is he smoking that cigarette? Why is he doing all the things that he is when there's a much better life that he could have? Well, I started thinking about it earlier today. Why would he do that? I mean, it could be because he likes it and he just got addicted to it. But the thing no one ever first thinks of, maybe something bad happened to him, like brother died or sister has died, and just they had depression and they killed themselves, and that's the only way he knows how to feel happy or enjoyment. You just immediately assume that he's drinking, he has to be a bad person, but you never think, how did he get there? Why did he get there? Is it because of something that has happened to him, to his family or something? And like you'll see a father who's an alcoholic, but you never think, why is he an alcoholic? What caused him to become this? Most parents, they don't want the worst for their children, because, I mean, their parents, it's kind of in their DNA, make my children have the most successful future as they can. But what you don't know is that his wife could have killed herself, left him, and took everything, all of his money, everything. Took the kids, left him one, and so he's grieving over that. And he could have married a girl for 40 years, married her for 40 years. And she just suddenly says, I don't want to date you no more, or I want a divorce. He doesn't know why, he just knows that he's hurt very badly. And so you just immediately assume that he's a bad person because he drinks and does drugs. Granted, that doesn't excuse all of them. Some of them actually do drugs because they are bad people. Or I won't say bad, but they've had things done to them that they don't like, and they use that to try and get rid of it. They try to force themselves into happiness. And as much as a lot of people would like, you can't force yourself to be happy. You can try to force yourself to be happy all you want, But in the end, only thing you're going to do is hurt yourself. And I'm pretty sure some of you are thinking, well, why not take medicine? They have medicine for this. Medicine is good in certain situations. I feel for depression, it is okay to an extent. The extent of if they're still suicidal, then yes, by all means have them take medicine to get rid of that mental state that they're in. But if they're, just every once in a while just a little depressed, I think that's not a good thing, because then they become reliant on the medicine. And as soon as that medicine wears off, they're back to how they were before, where it'd be 24 hours later, the medicine wears off. Take that pill. Alright, now you have to wait 30 minutes. You have to be depressed for 30 minutes that you can't stand before that medicine kicks in again. So 15 minutes can go by and that person's just getting more and more depressed. And it's Altman. Sorry. And so you're just getting more and more depressed until all you have is 5 minutes left for that medicine to start kicking in. But you decide you can't wait any longer. So you either grab some pills or something, you grab a gun, you grab your dad's gun. You know where he keeps it, you know where all the bullets are, you know how to load it and everything. And so you could have waited 5 more minutes, but you just couldn't, because for whatever reason you just could not stand that 5 minutes left. So you shoot and kill yourself. Well, you became so reliant on the pill that 30 minutes was like 30 minutes of absolute hell. Me personally, I still do have one Prozac, and I only use that for if I'm feeling either suicidal or if I'm just really depressed and I'm actually getting worried that it might soon come to that. Otherwise, I don't take it because I know I can talk to either my little sister Rose or my friends or family. And I generally do talk to Rose, because I know she has depression too, and whenever I was suicidal, I would always talk to her. She was always there to help calm me down, get me back in my right mind. But I learned that I had depression ever since I was a kid. My first sign of depression was me doing self-harm. I'm not sure if my dad had realized that it was because of depression that I was harming myself, but it was. I was depressed, and so the only way I knew to express myself was to hurt myself. And it got to the point when I was younger to where anybody who actually showed that they cared, I pushed them away. And anybody who would hurt me and make me feel worse about myself, I pulled them in. So I pushed out the people that would help me and pulled in the ones that would hurt me. Until I just thought that if you love someone, you're willing to physically hurt them, mentally hurt them, and make them just hate everything about themselves. And I decided, that has to be the truth, right? I mean, I'm young, and I believe that's love. It's called tough love. That's not love at all. I'm pretty sure my dad would still say, oh, it's just disciplining you. I wasn't the kind of kid that if you physically hit, it would teach me nothing. No, that won't teach me anything. My mom has not once laid a single hand on me. She has only spoken to me, and those words meant a lot more to me than when my dad has ever hit me or anything. Because my mom has spoke to me about a few things when I first got to Hawaii and I was not listening at all. And as soon as I heard what she was saying, I immediately started listening. And she didn't have to hit me or anything. And my dad didn't realize that I guess he was raised or taught, or he thought the only way to get your point across is to use force. The only way to get someone to listen to you is to use force. I don't respond to force. I have a hard time listening to other kids my age who try to take like high authority over me. Because in ROTC, there are kids that are around my age and they'll sit there and try and boss me around and do this and that and the other. And I'll tell them, hey, I don't respond well to kids around my age trying to act like they're 30 years old and telling me what to do. I don't respond to that. My mom doesn't tell me what to do, she asks me. which is why I respond to her extremely well. If you tell someone to do something, they're less likely to do it. And it means a lot less. But if you ask them, that means a lot more. And not only that, if you're in school and let's say you bump into a random person, a random girl, and you had a really bad problem with your family, you just got done arguing really badly with your dad, and you just had a flashback and you said, I hate you to her, but you didn't mean to. But you think, I just met her this one time, she looks fine, I don't have to apologize, and you continue on. In her head, what she hears is, I hate you, you're a worthless human being, you shouldn't be here, kill yourself. While it may not be what you said, that's what she hears and will be later interpreted, because depression has a way of manipulating the smallest things and turning them into the biggest things. So as she gets depressed, she goes home and decides, you know what, this random guy that I have never met before said he hated me. What do I have to live for? My dad's abusive, he's a drunk, I get picked on by the other girls at school, I get beat up by some of the guys. What do I have to live for? So she ends it all. But look at the other scenario. He bumps into her, he says, I hate you out of the flashback, and he apologizes. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I have problems with my family, and I didn't mean to say it to you. I just had a bad flashback. And she says, huh. He didn't mean to say it to me because he seems like he has the same problems as me. Huh. I didn't think anybody else had problems like me. And so she, instead of being depressed, she's more curious. Why did he act like that? Why did he say that out of absolute nowhere? And so instead of getting depressed, she gets curious. School day goes by. He sees a group of girls that he likes to hang out with picking on the girl that he had accidentally yelled at this morning. And he thinks, this girl was really nice to me this morning. She could have said, I hate you too. She could have been rude to me. But instead she said, it's okay, I understand. So she must be going through the same stuff as me. So he goes over there and defends her. To him, that might be very minor. Just a simple, hey, you're not supposed to do this. To her, that can mean the world. Because no one has ever defended her before. So she feels like, even if times get tough, I have someone now that I can lean on. Someone I can talk to. Someone I can trust to open up to. And so she does. She starts talking to her about how her dad's abusive and very rude, and everyone treats her very badly. And so, I mean, he's a kid. What is he supposed to do? Something. He could do anything. Tell a teacher. Because her just reaching out to him, he can reach out to so many other people and act like a web. She reaches out to him. He can reach out to 2 others. Those 2 reach out to 4 others. And till all that help gets traced back to her. To where the cops show up. The father's taken away. She's put into a nice family where she goes to live with her mom. It may be out of state, but in a better, safer home. And she sees him out of nowhere, 20 years down the road. And she starts talking to him, and thanks him. I was planning to kill myself that day, but because you were nice to me and you defended me, I decided I have so much more to live for. And I have never been more happy in my life than I have that day that you saved me. You saved me, not from depression, but from myself. And depression is not a simple thing. It does not affect everyone the same way. Some people, it might affect some people in similar ways, but it's not always exactly the same. For me, my depression, it made me very quiet, very submissive. If someone asked on me, I did it. I didn't question it. I didn't yell at them. I just did it. And it made me, every time I tried to reach out, I wanted to reach out for anything. I never could because it silenced that voice inside. It made me feel trapped and caged, like I couldn't reach out to anyone. If I did, I would get hurt very badly. Because when I was a kid, every time I tried to reach out for my teacher to ask her for just to talk to her and get things off my chest, I was required by law to call DCF. Even if it's just a small thing of he punished me by spanking me. She was required by law to call DCF. And I thought, I mean, I get it, it's her job, but the last time they were there, they told me that if they get called out again, someone's going to jail. Either it be me and my brother, or my dad. And so, when I told her that, she said, I'm required by law to tell someone. And at that time, I was like, I can't trust anyone. And so, that's when depression started really setting in. It started isolating me from everyone. Anyone who was nice to me was pushed away. I pushed my mom away. I pushed my stepdad away. I pushed everyone away who was nice to me, except for a few people. And anyone who was mean to me and hurtful, I let them in. Because depression, it has a way to just manipulate you to where you think you're fine. You think you're just happy dandy, you're just growing up. That's how it's supposed to be. But you don't know that it's actually there. You don't see it in the background, manipulating your thoughts, manipulating how your brain works. Until it ultimately can either shatter your brain to where just a simple word can absolutely rattle you into where you're on your knees crying and screaming for help. Or until you just overwhelmed and you try to kill yourself and you fail. So you try and try again until they decide you're too dangerous for yourself, so you're put up in like a sane asylum. So you're there tied up so you can't hurt yourself. Or you're considered suicidal, but you're willing to harm others. I believe there's a special word for that. And being suicidal, a lot of windows shut. A lot of windows and doors and everything just get slammed shut and locked. Because your whole life you've been manipulated by depression that you could not control. Until you try to kill yourself and those doors and windows just slam shut and locked. And there's no opening them again. So then, if you have a dream job like me, I would love to join the army, but I was told I can't because I have depression. Well, I can do one or two things. One, let depression consume me, or two, I can get back up, I can push myself as far as I can each day, thrive myself for the best, and if I can't become a soldier, I can make the army regret not picking me to be a soldier. And so I have. I've been working, I've been pushing myself to upload lengths on my body until my legs will literally drop out from under me. And I'll just push myself each and every day, thriving to be the best I can, to better myself each day. If I ruck march with a 30-pound bag on, let's say 4 miles, because that's what I did last time, the next time I do it, I'm going to go for 4.5 miles, or even 5 miles. Each day, I'm going to push myself as far as I physically can. And if my legs drop out from under me, all I do is take a break, wait until I can stand back up. And then keep moving. And a lot of people, they actually exercise not because of depression, but to help, because they feel that by running, they can run away from depression. And by exercising, you actually help get rid of depression. Because when you exercise, your body produces dopamine, which is the natural drug hormone that your body naturally produces, which is also known as the happy drug. Which is why it's called dopamine, because that's the same thing that weed has, and it does the exact same effect. It just makes you unconditionally happy. I don't know why they decided to call it dopamine out of all the words, but I'm not a scientist, I can't change it. And it's called dopamine. And when you exercise, it gets all those hormones and everything flowing. So it's hard for you to get depressed. Yeah, some pills like Prozac make it harder for you to get depressed too. but I don't feel like a pill compares nearly as much as actually fixing the problem. To me, medicine is just putting a bandage over a wound. Eventually, that wound is going to be reopened, and that bandage is going to be gone. So then what? Alright, you're depressed, you try to commit suicide, you're taking pills. Generally, they have you on it for 2-3 years, and they say you're done, you don't need it, because it's gone. Depression is never gone. When you have a depression, it's normally just in like a dormant state. Always back there, just waiting for something to trigger it. Something to trigger that thought, that mood. And so, 4 years down the road, you have not felt depressed once since taking those pills. All of a sudden, your life starts getting hard again. That depression starts working like how it did the first time around. It slowly isolates you. And slowly, very slowly, but at the same time quickly, manipulates your mind to where you don't realize that you're depressed again until you become suicidal. Well, if you told someone the first time around and you're suicidal again, you're definitely not going to tell them the first time around because you're suicidal, you want to die. But if you don't take the medicine, you actually fix the problem. Let's say you don't have closure from a friend who treated you very badly, who always hit you when you were younger, or your family treated you very poorly. If you don't get that closure as to why they did and get all the things that you needed, it will always be there. Granted, that won't fix depression, but it'll make it a lot harder for it to actually get to you. People with depression, I implore you, I beg you to reach out for help. And me, I'm speaking from experience, I didn't because I didn't want to seem needy. I didn't want to seem like an attention whore. I didn't want to seem like I just wanted only attention, so I kept it quiet. If you have depression, you have to speak up. Because that depression is not going to go away if you just stay quiet. Go to therapists. If it's easy for you to go to a therapist, then the therapist and you are not doing your job. The therapist is there to get to what's the problem, why are you depressed, what's causing this. And then your job is to tell him why. You can make up some excuse as to why, but it not be true, so it's easy for you to say. That's not going to fix anything at all. If anything, it's going to make the problem worse. I was told that if it's easy to go to a counselor for depression, then you and the counselor are not doing your job. If you go there every day and say this is easy, you're not doing your job. If you go there every day and say, I don't want to do this, this is hard, I don't like it, then you and them are both doing your job. Because you're there to help, you're there to open up so that he can help fix you or see what's wrong and try and fix it. Whether it be your dad's too aggressive or he yells a lot at you, and he's there to help fix it. But if you sit there and always hide it, nothing's going to resolve. The only thing it's doing is you're beating yourself up even worse in the long run. Because then you start blaming yourself for not telling him. And yeah, you could say, I did tell him the real true stuff. I mean, but if it wasn't hard, then you clearly didn't. And not only that, when he tells you to do something, you have to take it too hard. You have to take his advice and hold it on you. You have to hold it up to your heart. Because otherwise, it's just words. The strongest things in the world, the most lethal weapon, is no gun, no radiation, nothing that man take hours to produce or even minutes, or not bad, hours, days, or years. It does not take any of that. It takes merely 5 seconds to create the most lethal weapon in the world. Let's count it. I hate you. 3 words in less than 3 seconds. That right there can devastate someone. That person gets devastated and ends their life because of it. If you don't feel guilt, then honestly, I don't know how I can call you human, because humans are meant to have sympathy for others. It's what makes us strong together. That person kills himself, you think it's just that one person getting hurt. You don't think of the friends and family around that person that then get hurt. And then the friends and family around those people that have been hurt and they get depressed. It's an echo. One word creates an echo that hurts hundreds of others. That person on the other side of the world that was that guy's best friend, knowing that he just killed himself, he gets depressed. You didn't know that on the opposite side of the world, he had a best friend he told everything to. But because you decided that you couldn't take your own pain, and you decided to take it out on him, he's dead. His friend's thinking about the same thing. His friend becomes suicidal. He tries to hang himself. His mom catches him doing it. She becomes absolutely dumbfounded. She gets mad, depressed, sad. She has all these emotions, and she stops her son. Her son becomes depressed and he stays suicidal for years. Her mom becomes depressed. Her dad becomes an alcoholic and working late nights to try and distract himself from all that. His brother thinks that it's okay to hurt himself because of his older brother. So his younger brother starts cutting. One day he cuts too deep and kills himself by accident. Because that one person decided to say one mean thing. He just killed another person on the opposite side of the world that he didn't even know existed. Not only that, people that go around and say that I'm suicidal, and they're not, they're actually happy, they're just legitimately doing it for attention, don't do it. Just don't. Because you're potentially killing another person. Because if you're going around telling people that you're suicidal, and if enough people tell someone that, and someone who actually is suicidal does, they're just think you're just joking. That person dies, you find out that you could actually help them, you get depressed and become suicidal. It's a never-ending chain of liars hurting people who are actually depressed and suicidal. You don't want to do that, because I get it, people have pain. Life isn't hard. I've literally seen a thing, I actually screenshot it, it says life isn't freaking easy. Because it isn't. If life is easy, then you're not living life. Life is meant to challenge you every single day. And I know it can seem hard at times to take a step at a time each day. But you gotta remember, no matter what your situation, I guarantee you there's at least 1,000 other people in your country that have the same problem, if not in your state, that have the same problem. Whether you were at a party and you had gotten raped, I guarantee you there's 1,000 other people in that city or in that state that has the exact same problem. They had gotten raped too. But you think you're all alone, so you isolate yourself. You're never alone. In life, you are never alone. Even when you're in a room by yourself, you're never truly alone. The way I think if you're alone is if you forsake God and you truly, with a heart, without a doubt in your heart, care about no one. Not your mother, not your father, not your friends or family. Then I feel you are truly alone. But just because you're alone does not mean that you cannot be found by people. I spent years of my life walking in the darkness, trying to find the slightest reason to survive each day. And when I was living with my dad before I lived with my mom, it was drugs. It was weed, beer, and cigarettes. Those are the only reasons why I wanted to live, to do all those. Because they helped me forget the pain of what my dad has caused me. What he has seen as discipline, to me, seemed like abuse and had mentally tormented me. Each day, I would wake up wondering, today, how am I going to get hit? How am I going to get yelled at? What am I going to do to myself? And so when I was on the street, I was looking for anything I can do to get rid of that pain. And it was generally cigarettes and weed. And I know it's hard to take the pain on by yourself because you're just watching this video and like, no, I'm alone. Trust me, you don't know what I've gone through. You don't know what I've been through. You're more than likely right. I don't. But I promise you and I guarantee you 100% someone has. Someone has gone through exactly every second that you have gone through. Whether it be you wake up in the morning and your dad's sitting there slapping you, or your dad's sitting there throwing a beer bottle at you at the end of the night. I guarantee you someone is going through the same stuff. And I know some people say, well, I know there's other people in this world that have it worse than me, so why should I be sad? Don't think like that. Because I have seen someone when I was depressed, it said, why am I sad? Someone else has it worse than me. And it said, why should I be happy? Someone else has it better than me. Don't think like that. Think like, I'm sad. This is why. But now what are my favorite things to do? What can I do to help me get rid of my pain, to express it? Whether it be farming, running, punching a punching bag, swimming, or fishing. Doing something physical helps you. And I know when I was depressed, I did not want to do anything physical. Because when you're depressed, doing anything physical, any exercise, makes you not depressed. And depression doesn't want that. They want you to stay depressed and want you to end up trying to kill yourself. Depression is like the devil. It whispers in your ear. And if you stay depressed for too long, it can become like a curse, to where it's hard for you to let go of the smallest things. And the smallest things can sit there for hours and torment you. And just one word that you overheard someone say, can absolutely shatter you mentally for a couple of hours. A lot of people absolutely struggle with depression. And I know how it is. I've had it, and I'm already considered suicidal because I've attempted it. And I'm here because the person that caused me most of my torment when I was a kid, that caused most of my depression, was actually the one that saved me. My dad was the only one that I said that I'm committing suicide to. He was the only one I told him that I'm gonna OD. And he was the only one